Hey guys, this is another Friday morning with me, sketchbook and watercolors, and I plan to paint a yummy cupcake today. Let's start. So in the best watercolor traditions, I will start from the lightest tone and slowly build up my colors, my layers to the darkest tone. And for the lightest tone is going to be this creamy part of the cupcake. I take cerulean. I will add a little bit of, I have this gray color from Rosa. So I will experiment with that. So cerulean plus gray. And only applying it on the darkest parts of the shadow, because this is a white cream, so we still should make it look like it's white, just with tiny bits of shadows. And the tiniest drop here on the side, because this is going to be where the light is coming from here. Which means all left side of our cupcake is going to be highlighted. Then there's a bottom. I'll first put some water, so I'll get softer color transitions. And even though right now it looks much darker than, white, I know that when watercolor will get dry, it will lose at least half of the intensity of the color. All right, the cream is ready. So now I will work on the bottom part. For that, I am taking yellow, cadmium yellow, with drops of burnt sienna. So I get something like orange, and maybe I'll add raw sienna as well. And that will be my starting color for the cupcake. Now there's this reflection. My brush carries lots of water, so it's much easier to connect different colors that I dropped on my cupcake. And especially it's working well to define the shadows and create the texture of this paper cup where the cupcake is sitting. With the flat brush, I will define some of the highlights by lifting the color, lifting the pigment. And right away I can reintroduce those shadows. I also don't want to obsess in this part of the cupcake for too long. I don't have a goal of painting hyper-realistic food art. What I do need to do is add some blue to my brown, so I get a darker tone of brown, and define a little bit the shadow over here. And it got dry already because I was too busy with other things. So it looks quite sharp, but it's okay, I'll dilute it with the brush. I just want to show the shadow that the cream of the cupcake is dropping on the bread, on the actual cupcake. All right, coffee time. Sometimes paint tends to leak back into the area that you freed from it. So it's not a big deal. You can just go ahead and lift the pigment once more. So while everything is slowly getting dry, I can work on this big and juicy cherry. For that, I will use Mother Red, add some drops of green because it's a complementary color, so it's gonna make pink darker and calmer. So now I have this nice deep Bordeaux kind of color, and first I'll start with nice and light sort of underpainting, like a first layer on the cherry. This is a reflection on the side, little highlight that I want to keep light in the bottom, and then here will be also a light area light transparent area. And everything else is going to be purely white, because it's the lightest part where the sunlight is hitting the cherry. So we need to keep it as white as possible. So it's literally going to be the whiteness of the of the paper. Excuse me, early morning. Can't speak. And now I can introduce this dark Bordeaux color. And because my first layer was still wet, now all the colors are blending so nicely together. I need to save this highlight. Oh no, it's leaking even more now. Okay, so I'll just keep it there and do nothing, because I need for it to be absolutely dry before I add any other color. If I do it now, they're all gonna leak, bleed into each other, and completely destroy my highlighted area. So for now, I just leave it to chill. Okay, leave it to rest. This part may be smaller. But now I can start the jam that's flowing. Right away, I'm dropping some of the shadows into this jam as well. So very carefully, I am making sure that my highlights are safe. Painting around them. Also softening the edges. And at the same time, adding shadow. right, looking good. As well, I'm purposefully leaving some of the spots blank as I'm painting this cream or jam. The more highlights I have, the more yummy the painting is gonna look. I'm mixing darker tone again and adding it right away so that it bleeds nicely and connects with my initial red. Here I maybe even lift some of the pigment a little bit so it's lighter. And here as well. Working on all fronts. Here it's leaking on the table. And we're almost done. Just need to work out some of the shadows like I'm doing now. And maybe then evaluate the painting and add the details that are missing. Like for example, I would definitely intensify the shadows here in the bottom. Maybe even here in between, just a little bit. And I'm gonna grab a coffee to have a chance to think what else is missing here. To finish the cherry, some greens, maybe even a little bit of Yana for diversity. Nice. The cherry is still getting dry, so I'm not gonna touch it, but I need to finish the shadows in there. Meanwhile, I can work through some of the missing textures over here. And with a bigger brush, I will add the shadow, but I'll do it with wet and wet technique. So first I'll put some water. And then I'll add some of the cast shadow. So the shadow is the darkest in the place where it's touching the subject. And as it goes away, it becomes much lighter. Maybe can correct the shape a little so it doesn't go a bit too far out front. All right, and I think now is the best opportunity to finish the cherry. So very carefully, holding my breath, I am adding darker tones on the cherry. And with the lighter and a bit diluted pink, I am softening the edges of this dark shadow, so it doesn't look too odd and cut out. And voila, the cupcake is ready. Let me know what you think.